Not even the younglings survived.
Not even the Spruelings. God damn. Can you imagine? Alright, top story tonight. The entire city is a Sigmar book. Every war scroll. All the points.
Which part?
The entire lore section. Even the Spruelings. All the sprue. Just everything. Just everything things. You know. You thought you'd have missed some? You've missed nothing. Oh no, the robot's dead. Ah. My precious robot. Okay, robot's dead. Discord.gg/Heywoah. The Discord is big enough now that you can just do the / my name and then everything works. We're big now. Begin. Free cities. In the wake of the Realm Gate Wars, great cities of order were established across the mortal realms, each with their own proud traditions and martial heritage. Alright. Pick one of the following subfactions. Hammerhall Aksha. Oh, is there going to be a Hammerhall Gyra? There is. Okay. We're splitting Hammerhall into two, huh? Well, that makes sense. In the lore. If anyone gives a shit. In the lore, Hammerhall is the biggest city. It's so big it spans 2 realms of... This is what they say. They say our city is too big to be contained by one plane of existence, but actually this is a giant realm gate in the middle. Half of it is in Akshi, half of it is in Gyran. Okay, splitting it up, sure. Tempest Die, Hallhart, Living City, Grey Road of Fastness. Lethis, what's that? Is Lethis the... Is that the one that came from Broken Realms Marathi? No, that was Anvilgard. Got converted into, what's the... Dank City. Oh, Lethis is the Shyish city, okay. Vindicarum. What's that? It's the one where Catacross was locked up? Okay, cool. Cool. Vindicarum, Excelsis. Settlers Gains. Oh, we're not getting rid of that. And Misthaven. Where's Phoenicium? Hold up. Phoenicium?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night. Why are we still here?
Every night. I feel the phantom 4-up save. 4-up ward. They dead. F's in chat. Alright, F's in chat for Phoenicium. The city of Sigmar with literal 2 units is gone. I don't care. Somebody might care. I'm sure somebody who owns 3,000 points of Anointed on Frostheart Phoenix and Phoenix Guard probably cares. But, oh. Misthaven, huh? With a little, what is that, umlaut? What's the circle? No, sorry. Umlaut is the 2 dots, and that's above like an O or a U or something like that. What's this symbol called? Any non-English speakers? Orders. Only through sheer griot and well-drilled discipline can the soldiers of the city of Sigmar overcome the horrors faced in mortal realms. If you command a City Sigmar army, you can give orders to friendly heroes. Orders is rules bold. Orders are represented by order tokens. Are we redefining what a command ability is again? Orders are represented by order tokens. Each order token has two sides. One side shows the City of Sigmar faction icon. The other side shows an icon that corresponds to one of the orders on page 9899. At the start of the battle round, after the priority roll has been made, you can give one order to each friendly hero on the battlefield. Oh, that's a lot. You can give an order to each hero. To do so, pick one of the orders on pages, yeah. No more than 3 friendly heroes can have the same order at the same time. Oh, so we can do the same order. Cool. Orders marked City of Sigmar order in the Grand Alliance order can be ordered to be given to any Cities of Sigmar hero in an orderly manner. Those marked human order can only be given to human heroes. Those marked Duardin order can only be given to Duardin heroes. Those marked elf order can only be given to elf heroes. Sad. Still have racist rules. No true mixing. Oh well. Orders remain secret until they are revealed, because that's why you have the two sides. Each order will state when it can be revealed and how it is resolved. Oh, you get trap cards, do ya? A friendly unit cannot be affected by the same order more than once in the same phase. At the end of the battle round, all orders are removed from play, including those that were not revealed. An order is not a command. Therefore, a hero that has been given an order or a unit that is affected by an order is not prevented from issuing or receiving commands. There's too many... we are saturated in rules about how to and when you can break the rules of command abilities. And so we've invented new command abilities to give to people. Orders are not commands, they are trap cards. Cities of Sigmar order. Oh, okay, so you have cities orders, human orders, dwarf orders, elf orders. Possibly sub-faction orders once we get to them, I would imagine. Alright. I guess we're getting... And what is it? How many could you give out? 3? No, every hero gets an order. Start a battle round after prio. Hidden until flipped. Conditional. Max 3 of the same one. Max 1 per phase per unit. Add 3 to the move characteristic friendly Sigmar hero units that start a normal move within 3 of the hero. Okay, so we want your heroes to be close to your units again, just like in first edition. In addition, at the end of the phase, friendly Cast-a-Light units with the fortified position ability can establish a fortified position, even if they have made a normal move in this phase, if they are within... Okay, so we got KO rules. 1 million extra things to do throughout all the movement in heroes that have a million conditions. If you did this, you can break a rule. Here's a normal rule, you break it. Here's a normal rule, you break it. You have to remember all this, and your opponent just believes you. Be fast. Stop being slow. +3 move if start within 3 inches of said hero. Can fortify even if moved. Okay, this is your OBR. Everybody moves faster. Command ability. It's not a command. And also, it's everybody around that hero. We're trying to make heroes matter again. Counter charge. You can reveal this order at the end of the enemy charge phase. If you do, pick a friendly city Sigmar unit that is more than 3 from all enemy units. And is within 3 of the hero. Wait. At the end of the charge phase, pick one friendly city Sigmar unit that is more than... so you did not get charged. And maybe you can now charge in if you want to. Yeah. And then if you charge, +1 rend. Sick. Okay. Till the end of the turn, not just the end of the phase, of course, because it's the charge phase. +3 move for most of your army. That's very good. Enter combat if you wish to when your opponent was very careful not to pull you into combat. Good. +1 rend. Good. Okay, both of these are excellent. And now we get to human orders. Love. Return fire. You can reveal this order when a friendly unit within 3 of the hero with this order is targeted by a shooting attack. Oh, shoot the shooters, huh? After all the enemy shooting attacks have been resolved, pick one friendly Sigmar unit that is more than 3 from all enemy units and within 3 of the hero for this order. Okay, you have to shoot the people near that hero. Okay, so you...
Which pawn?
We're not allowed to shoot heroes unless we're outside of 12, and then even if we are within 12, we suffer penalties to hit them, and many of them have bodyguards, but that's not enough. They can also shoot back now. Okay, this is a very shooty army. If you couldn't tell from the models, well, that makes sense, really, right? Think about normal humans in a fantastic magical world of chaos and demons and stuff. How could they possibly fight back? It sure as absolute fuck would not be in melee combat, right? If we're pretending it's even kind of realistic, right? Like an ogre is stronger than a bear, and a bear is so strong that a human has no chance in any contest. The strongest human in the world would be ripped apart by like a gorilla, casually, like a child, right? And so what would you do? Well, you'd get your technology, you would come up with bombs and guns and stuff, and then you'd start blowing them the fuck up, and that's kind of makes sense in that way. Ipaka, thanks for the Prime for 17 months. I appreciate it. So what this means is, you know those units that happen to have a shooting attack in your army? Did you kind of roll because whatever? Just you don't even use those anymore. You don't roll their attacks. It's kind of like playing against Slaanesh. This is for my army I'm talking about now, but like a lot of ogre units have like one stupid pistol shot or one stupid like harpoon bazooka, where it's like one shot hits on 4s, you know? And against Slaanesh, you just don't even roll it. You just choose not to. Because you're just going to take D3 mortal wounds from even trying to, and it sucks bad enough that it's not worth it. Maybe the same thing here. unless you're specifically targeting people that aren't near any heroes with an order, which is every hero. So return fire. Shoot the shooters. Amazing. Suppressing fire. You can reveal the sword at the start of your shooting phase. If you do, pick one friendly Sigmar human unit within 3 of the hero with this order after the unit shoots. If all of its attacks targeted the same enemy unit, which it did. 2d6, add the number of models slain by those attacks to the result. Strike last effect apply. Ooh, suppressed. Okay, we finally have suppressing fire in the game. And this is like a... This is a pretty reasonable game mechanic to how it kind of works. Rule, don't you think, for rules writing? Okay, they essentially have to make a bravery check in a way, or there's some sort of check for bravery. It's harder if you do more damage while models slain. And then what's the effect of being suppressed? Well, you strike last. You're like slower. Until the end of the turn. Do note, you're not suppressing something and then it's the opponent's turn, and if they charge you, they just die, right? There isn't that, at least. Engage the foe. Deal this order at the start of the charge of your charge phase. Has not yet fought in this battle. Okay. You have not yet fought in the game. And is within 3 of the hero with this order. If the unit makes a charge move in this phase, add 1 attack characteristic. Okay. So this is kind of what you want, right? The first time you ever use something, it's the best. Big damn. That's good. That is a good order. If you haven't fought yet, your first fight is going to be sick. And that's a great buff. Add 1 to tax characteristics. Super strong. Only 2 orders for the lesser races, because this is a racist book. Form shield wall. Start of enemy combat phase. That has 5 or more models? Ugh. Boo. The unit forms into a shield wall until the end of the phase. I mean, it kind of makes sense. You have to interlock. You have to, like... You need a wall. It's not a shield pole. It's a shield wall, right? While unit is formed a shield wall, the strike last effect applies to that unit, but as a ward of 5 up, right? You strike last, but 5 upward. Grim Last Stand. You can reveal this order at the start of your combat phase if you do so. Pick one friendly Sigmar Duarden unit within 3 of the hero until... What's it called? Grim. Until the end of the phase, each time a model from your unit is slain by an attack made with a melee weapon, and you explode. Okay, can we stop making things explode on death? Please, Jesus God, please, stop. I guess it's just dwarves, but... Once again, within 3 of that model's unit. So you can have a long line, and then the guys at the end that are dying are... Same range as the zombie thing before it was nerfed. Now we get Elven orders. If the unit makes a charge move, a strike first effect applies to that unit until the end of the turn. Okay. The biggest meh that ever meh. And Swift. Can immediately retreat at the end of the combat phase. Okay. Elven orders seem trash. Dwarven orders seem annoying. Human orders seem really good. Shield wall feels like, okay, you're using chaff, just give your chaff a 5-up ward. They weren't going to do damage anyway. So like maybe you have cheap dwarven chaff and you just like put them in there, units of 10. It's like, alright, you know, 3-up save, 5-up ward. They do no damage anyway, I don't care if they fight last. So there's that. And then the explodey ones, I don't know if we'll get like units of 40 dwarves doing zombie explosions. Kind of depends on battle shot or battle line status, stuff like that. For the elfin ones, I generally don't... I'm not super into when you charge, you strike first kind of business, unless the thing it's on is amazing. And you're charging in 2 amazing hammers, which you could do with this. Because you can issue these orders to multiple things, right? You can do 3 of these. And so now you have 3 hammers all striking first. That's big. Some hero on a donkey plus his unit, and you fight with both of those instead of just one, I kind of don't care. But if it's 2 real hammers, then I do. So this could be good. And then end of combat can retreat. I mean, it's end of any combat, right? Yeah, it's any combat. At first you think it's not good because it's like, well damn, I should just be killing stuff. Why do I need to retreat? You can do it on any combat, even opponent's turn. So it's the opponent's turn. They failed to kill you. You failed to kill them. You retreat. Now it's your turn, and you have since retreated. You can retreat on your opponent's turn perhaps onto an objective, perhaps to get more guys onto an objective. Tricky and potentially good. All of these will obviously depend on how good and in what way are they good, the war scrolls that we're going to be looking at. But this is just like thoughts before we see the war scrolls, you know. Enhancements. Oh, that's it. Those are the allegiance abilities. Okay, we... Your Allegiance ability is trap card. Am I sad that their previous Allegiance abilities went away? Let's see, what were they? Some endless spell bullshit, that's dumb. Good. Rest in peace. I'm glad you're gone. The stupid, like, Stormkeep coalition crap, I'm glad that's gone. I'm sure it'll bring it back in the Subfactions section. I kind of, you know what I thought was cool? I liked the little guy in his little retinue. I thought that was fun. Build your own little command center and do, I kind of liked that thing. That was kind of fun. Had to be a foot hero, you know, had to be a unit that was 20, whatever. That was kind of fun. However, I don't care. It was all kind of dumb. Let's get trap cards. I don't mind that all the previous Allegiance abilities are gone. Right? It's fine. These could be cool. And these are much more proactive. You're doing stuff. You're thinking about stuff all the time. It forces your opponent to think about stuff. I think they're neat. There are some Allegiance abilities that, like, if they get rid of them, I'm terrified about what the faction is even going to be anymore. And there are some, even if they were cool, it's like, yeah, I don't care. What new stuff do we have? It could be cool. Like, if they got rid of every Slaanesh Allegiance ability, I'm like, okay, fine. If you want to go back to the drawing board again, I guess that's okay, right? If they got rid of Ogre impact hits and we just don't do impact hits anymore, that would be a concern. If they got rid of any of the other ones, kind of who cares, right? Enhancements. Out with the old, in with the new, right? Human-only command traits. Man, we are just drawing... We are taking a chainsaw and just chopping the book up into races. Sad. But okay. Enhancements, traits, human. Divine Champion. General becomes a priest if they are not already a priest. In addition, they know the Hammer of Sigmar prayer below, in addition to any other prayers they know. Hammer of Sigmar. Cool. Ahem. Answer value 4, yikes. And a 12. Until the start of your next hero phase, add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons of friendly to Sigmar human units while they are wholly within range of the Chanter. So the Chanter has to kind of charge and stuff. You want the Chanter to actually charge. Then again, the General becomes a priest. You can put it on a monster, right? Big range on that. Big base kind of centerpiece guy. This one wound rolls is good. Become a priest, get a +1 to wound aura, that's good, but it needs to be on a combat general. It needs to be on a general with good movement and that wants to charge. Otherwise, you're better off, you know, doing whatever. But then again, what were you going to put on it besides? Curse? Well, same thing there. Really short range, right? Alright, Divine Good is good. Grizzled Veteran. Wound rolls made for attacks that target this general only wound on an unmodified 4-up. Alright, we're starting to use that stuff. We're starting to... I don't want to look up everybody's rules. I'm just saying it only does this, right? Looks like it works for ranged and melee. Only wound this guy on a 4-up, ranged and melee. Also probably can't shoot him. Also probably can't shoot him again. Also -1 to hit. Also maybe a bodyguard. We are driving 60 miles an hour towards invincible foot heroes. Alright. Is there a place to read my write-ups post-stream? You know Kaito is dead again? No. The reason I'm on stream document number 2 is because stream document number 1 was like 100,000 pages. Or sorry, 100,000 words. And it was starting to like lag when I would open it, and so I made a new one. They're just like stream of consciousness and filled with memes, and it would be hard to like parse, I think. I just do it for the benefit of the stream for the most part. And I don't really go back and read them. I guess I could, but I would want to, like, fix it, you know? Master of Ballistics. If this general issues the all-out attack command... Hey, look, look. They tell you where that rule is. 13.4, my dude. See? Look at that. Hey, brand new player who doesn't know anything about anything. What's the all-out attack command? Right here in the core rules, I got you. This section. How nice. Thinking about the new player experience. It's a reminder text on a magic card when a thing has flying, right? That's nice. That's just nice. How hard was that? To a friendly cast the light unit in the shooting phase. Add 1 to wound rolls attacks made with missile weapons by the unit in that phase. It is in addition to the normal effect of all-out attack. Well, that's insane. When you all-out attack a shoot unit, they get +1 to hit and wound, lol. But it has to be Castellite. It's quite possible Castellites are your best shooting anyway, but we'll see. Only humans? Well, whatever Castellite are. I'm assuming Castellite are human only. I bet that's probably like all your human shooting. I'm sure they don't give new keywords to the old ones. Fiery Temper. Reroll charge rolls. In addition, made a charge move. You can reroll charge rolls for friendly human units while they're wholly within 18 of the general. Okay. Free reroll charges all around. That's the kind of thing you might want in Beastclaw Raiders. I don't know if that's gonna topple the rest of these, but alright. The old Beastclaw command that they took from us, reroll charges within 18 of the general. Alright, which one of these are good? Priest is good. Bear strong. You don't need to worry about this. You can't even target the guy. Master shooting is the best one. Obviously. If this army is going to take any shooting units ever, then this is the command trait. If this army is just not going to take any shooting units ever because they're all trash, then you'll take Divine Good. The other two, imagine. Lords of the Mountains. I remember you. Dude or Din. Of mighty lineage. Start of combat. You can issue a challenge. Pick one enemy hero within 3 of this general until the end of the phase. The strike first effect applies to the general, but all of the attacks they make in that hero phase must target the hero. Well, they were going to. So this is any combat phase, right? Any combat phase, even your opponent's. You pick one enemy hero within 3 of this general. So if you're not being charged by a hero, then it does nothing. And then you strike first. This is trash. Insurmountable resilience. At the end of each combat, roll a die for each wound currently allocated as general. 3 up, the wound is healed. Hey, we're stealing Nurgle rules too now. Nice. Nurgle rule. Yep. At the end of each combat phase, roll a die for each wound currently allocated. 3 up, the wound is healed. Probably trash. Because I don't believe any dwarven heroes will be important enough to waste a trait on something like that. I mean, if there's some big monster hero dwarf, Power Rune, Stone, Earthen Golem, Steam, Gundam, okay, but I'm picturing that guy who's standing on a rock who's like that big and probably has a move 4 and 6 attacks at best. So, Master of Ancient Lore becomes a priest. Yep, this is the one that you take if you're in a dwarf army. 1 additional prayer from the Rune Lore prayer scripture. Okay. Become a priest if already. +1 known prayer. Cities update. Did you get to the Dark Elves yet? We are at the very, very beginning, Shidoru. We're in the Allegiance abilities section. And they leaked fucking everything. The lore section, the how to paint everything, the points, the war scrolls. They took pictures of the sprues that come in all the boxes. They were thorough. Anyway, if you're playing a Dwarven army, you take this, because the other two don't do anything. And if you're playing a human army, you take Master of Shooting. Because while the other ones are, like, kind of good, doesn't matter. This one's insane. Got him. Next. Elf Anne. Dreaded Leaders. That's your... okay. Lord of the Mountains makes a lot of sense for dwarves. Sentinels of Order. Okay, that makes sense for humans. Dreaded leaders? Are elves dreaded? Well, actually, a lot of them are dark elves now, right? Scourgewater, Privateers, Darkling Covens. Okay, no, yeah, you know what? I was about to make fun of it. And I thought about it for 1 second, and it makes sense now. No, we're good. Unparalleled Duelist. For each hit roll for an attack made with melee weapon, the target's this general that does not score a hit. Attacking unit suffers a mortal wound. Finally, the good version of this one. This is the good version of this one. I call it Explosive Vest. Every melee miss against this dude procs 1 mortal wound automatically. The way I roll damage, Stonehorn charges in, misses 12 attacks, it just blows up. Cool. Secretive Warlock. Wizard only, add 1 to casting on binding rolls made for this general. Hey, it's the one you take. Power Lock. That's the one you take. Good against buckets of dice attacks. I think it's good against actual everything. I guess, in your opinion, where does bucket of dice start? Most people, if we're talking buckets of dice, maybe 20, you know? Stonehorns roll like 12 attacks, and I'm going to take 6 mortal wounds every combat from this guy. That's a lot of mortal wounds, right? I think this is good against everybody. Every little Stormcast hero with 5 attacks on 3s is taking 2 mortal wounds, like always. I don't know. Shit's... The sheer amount of mortal wounds this puts out before that little elf dies. I don't think it's, like, worth doing, but... Still, like... I think that the text of this ability is better than people think once they play with it on the table. It might not be a job you want the person to satisfy, but I think the base, in a vacuum, the roll is really good. Put it on an assassin. I'm thinking about putting it on like a Black Dragon Dreadlord. And just flying him into anything. It'd be like fucking Arnold at the end of Predator. Covered in mud. Right in front of a tree trap. Come on, kill me. I'm right here, you know? And they have to. Alright, Draconic Blood Pact. Hero mounted on Black Dragon only. The Dragon one. At the start of the combat phase, you can say that this general will draw power from their Draconic Blood Pact. If you do so, the general suffers 1 mortal wound that cannot be negated. However, until the end of the phase, add 1 to the attack characteristic of the general's mount. Okay. I don't see the words once per game anywhere in this paragraph, and I thought I was going to. Shall we read again? Did anybody? At the start of the combat phase, you can say this general will draw power from the... If you do, suffers 1 mortal wound. However, until the end of the phase, add 1 attack characteristic of their mount. This is the kind of paragraph of abilities that I'm so used to seeing once per battle on. I don't see it here. The world is healing. Okay. This is not once per game. It's like you're looking at the fucking desert that used to be a skyscraper with a overpass underneath it. You look east and you see a fucking tanker stabbed through a skyscraper in the shape of a cross. And you look down at the blasted, arid landscape and you see one flower begin to grow at the end of Fist of the North Star. The world is healing. They're starting to sometimes not put once per game on fucking everything. I consider this a huge W. There's hope for humanity. They're learning. Dreadlord does this at 1 wound left. Yeah, Dreadlord on what's the fucking, I can't remember who did that comic. Dreadlord on Giraffe. I will now draw upon my pact. Observe. And his head fucking explodes. Artifacts. Once again, human only. Brazier. Boost the air. Roll a die each time model would flee from a friendly human unit that is wholly... And stopped reading there. Alright, does literal nothing. Mastro Vivetti's Magnificent Macroscope. I think this was, isn't this a callback? This was already in the book last time, if I recall correctly. Some goofy name, Magnificent Macroscope. Hishian Glass. Add 30 range characters to missile weapons used for friendly Sigmar units while they are wholly within 12 of the bearer. Now that you can't snipe heroes, I don't know how good that is. May not be the auto include that it may have been in the past, because I'm not sure how the no sniperino stuff. Magoscope. Shemtex Grimoire. Wizard only. Shrek's book. Once per battle. Oh, okay. Remember that flower that grew in the center of Fist of the North Star land? Well, it got ran over by like a dune buggy or something. No range though, and you use it turn 1. All right, I'm listening. I'm listening. Once per game, boo. But it's actually pretty sick. Hold up. Roll D3. Now hold on. Hold on now, partner. Once per game, but roll D3, subtract that number from all enemy wizards this phase, infinite range, no line of sight. Okay. Okay. True, it's only once per battle, you just use it on turn 1. Maybe turn 2, right? Fine. Semtex. Very low me. Sorry you missed a bunch of this. No, you didn't. You missed the first 3 pages. I haven't even looked at a single war scroll yet. We're in the artifact section. So I don't know the answer to your question. We will all find out soon. It seems like what we do know is that the book is still very racist. In fact, more racist than it used to be. Humans only work with humans, dwarves only work with dwarves. A lot of stuff is keyword locked. The orders are only keyword, the traits are only for that. They specifically list only, you know, there's no working together. If you're on the battlefield and you're both fucking dying and you're part of the same army and part of the same city and you grew up together and your parents grew up together and your grandparents grew up together and the general says fall back men and he happens to be a dwarf, you're like, fuck that guy. I ain't listening to shit. And the dwarf can fall back and you just can't. But, you know, it's a game, so... Lore, you know, that kind of shit aside, it does have to still be a game, so fine, you know. Sigmarite Warhammer. Pick one of the bear's melee weapons. Improve the Ren characteristic by 1 and add 1 to the damage. Cool if you're, like, trying to fight as a general, which maybe dude on giant monster will. Right? Sigma Male Hammer. I don't know, maybe you make a Smash Bat hero. Maybe that's a fun thing. Flask of Lethizian Dark Water. Dark water. 1 PB. At the end of any phase, you can heal D6. Flask of shit water. Once per game, end of any phase, heal D6. Glimmering once per phase. Ooh, almost had me there. Once per phase, not once per game. You can reroll 1 hit roll or 1 wound roll for an or 1 save. No. You are fired. You're actually fired. Get out. Get out. Book of Grudges, you're in it. Whoever wrote this shit, Glimmering, you are in the Book of Grudges. At the start of your hero phase, if the bear is more than 3 from all enemy units, you can say that they will read from the Book of Grudges. I'm glad this is like in the game. First of all, it's cool that there is a rule called the Book of Grudges. That's nice. Because there's a meme. If you do so, pick 1 enemy unit that is visible to the bear and roll a die, and 4 up the grudge is found. It's you. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by friendly Sigmar Durden units. Target that enemy unit until the end. Until the next one is found. Look, grudge is found. That's a rules word. So if you fail the roll, the old grudge still applies, which may or may not matter, but still, that's neat. Infinite range plus 1 to hit. It's kind of sick. That's actually cool and good. I like that they put it in there, and he's just pointing. This is fun. You can't roll if he's in combat, but you can target somebody, call them a grudge, and then they are. And then your dude gets in combat, but you're still getting the bonus until he's out of combat. That's cool. Pile Driver Gauntlets. Goblin Pile Driver. At the start of the combat phase, if this unit is within 3 of an enemy unit, okay, if they're eating. Bear cannot fight. However, roll a die for each enemy unit within 3. On a 4-up, strike last effect applies. Okay, so everybody fights last around this fucking guy, because he punches the ground like Hulk and Marvel. Earthquaker. If you can get your fucking ass, your dwarven ass, into combats, that's kind of neat. So but he cannot attack. Even if the roll fails, he can't. Four up is rough. You have to give up your attacks, even if you end up failing. Blah blah blah. But it's cool. It's a cool artifact. It's like cool. Ignore negative modifiers to save rolls for attacks to target the bear if the bear has not made a move in the same turn. Yeah, not once per battle. If you haven't moved, you are ethereal. Damn, not moving sure is fucking fun. Games Workshop, I love it. You know what I love in war games where movement is the most important stat you could possibly have on every war scroll in the world? Not moving, that's the best. That's so sweet. Holy shit. Please more. Please make me have to choose between moving and not moving more often. I love it. I just love it. Isn't this like very close to the core rule? I know it's not exactly the core rule. It's very close. Once per game, you aren't visible from the start of your hero phase till the next one. Now, that's really close to the core rule. Sorry. Outside 12. But this gets around some of the ranged weapon things, right? Spells, blood vultures, you're finally immune, right? Stuff like that. Venom Fang. Pick a weapon on a 6, it does mortal wounds. In addition, I wonder how many attacks you have. V-Blade. If you have a hero with like... If you have a hero with like 12 attacks, this shit is sweet. If you have a hero with 4 attacks, it is trash. Anklet of Epiphany. Add 6 to the range of spells cast by the bear while the bear is wholly on a terrain feature and or is contesting objective. Long Wizard. That's the one you take. Okay, so let's see. Enhancements. Master of Shooting. OP. Dudes get a priest. Elves get +1 to cast. What do humans get? Like a silver bullet, maybe? Smash bat, maybe? Artifacts, not terrific for humans. Book of Grudges is a touch random, I'll admit. But fun. This thing, again, a touch random, but fun. Worse than Grudges. And if you don't move, you can't die. Which is pretty cool if you're like in the spot you want to be, having previously moved a bunch, right? And then for Elf, you get Long Wizard. And that Long Wizard is probably the wizard that has +1 to cast, right? Okay. Human Wizard. Hold up. If you haven't made a move in the same turn. I mean, you never move on your opponent's turn except for Pylon, right? You know? Is this copium, or am I trying to, like... Or is this real? You know, you're not moving on the opponent's turn unless you're piling in. And that piling in is a choice. And so, you're probably slow, sure, but you just do the Fire Slayer's OBR thing, right? You're like, oh, 6 run. Now I'm on an objective, and then I just stand there. I don't know, maybe. It depends on what your war scrolls look like. Fireball. Roll 1 die for each model in the unit. For each roll of a 6, the unit suffers 1 mortal wound. It's trash. Mystifying Miasma. Cast value of 5, range of 24. Pick 1 enemy unit within range, invisible. Cannot run. In addition, subtract 2 from charge rolls. Right. 24-inch range. Fuck my army, I guess. Man, fuck my army. Oh. Sorry, I've been sitting a lot. The streamer. Miasma is a root spell in a good way. I don't want it cast on me. Break time, Habibi, and soon. Soon TM. But my Horde meta, it does 1 mortal wound on 6s. It doesn't matter if there's a Horde meta or not, the spell's bad. Against 5 guys, it does 0 or 1 mortal wound. Against 1 guy, it does 0 mortal wounds. Against 10 guys, it does 1 or 2 mortal wounds. Against 20 guys, it does 3 mortal wounds. Against 60 guys, it does 10 mortal wounds. And the only thing that come in 60s anymore, nobody plays 60s, first of all. And the things that are 60 will bring those back. Anyway, yeah, it's like... Fireball is like Frost Wreath Ice. It scales perfectly so that it's always terrible no matter the target. Anyway, Paul of Dude. That's good. All of Doom 2. Is this cast on a 7? That spell's really good. Ball of Doom is really good. It's 18-inch range roar. And it lasts for possibly many turns. Fuzz protection. Oh, fuzz protection? Damn, no cilantro, please. Wholly within range visible until the start of your next hero phase. Ignore modifiers positive to save rolls for attacks target the unit. Okay. Ethereal. How good is positive negative ethereal in 3rd edition? Is it even that good? Kind of depends. Can be. Right? It can be. The start of next hero phase. Ignore. Oh wait. Roll a die for each wound currently allocated. On a 5-up, the wound is healed. Okay. On a monster, that's potentially good. Do we think the big pig will fulfill the behemoth role in a battle regiment? Kind of hoping so for your Alpha Strike list. Non-hero behemoth. There might be a non-hero version, like no one's on the pig. There could be. I imagine there's going to be hero version and then maybe riderless version, but maybe not. I'm not sure. It's weird because Ironjaws kind of wants it to not be a hero monster so that you can save a drop and put it in Battle Regiment because you're probably using a Maw Crusher already. Trains of lead. Pick one enemy. Not enemy unit, pick one enemy. Roll number of dice equal to the number of models in that unit. Oh, they probably mean enemy unit then. For each roll that equals or exceeds that unit's save characteristic, the unit suffers a mortal wound. So against high armor unit, you do a lot of mortal wounds. And against the bad armor unit, you don't cast the spell. This is bad, right? Like, this can't be good. No, it's... Okay, you're fighting Stormcast. And there's a unit of 4 Fulminators. So you roll 4 dice. And do 2 mortal wounds. Is that good? You cast a spell against 5 Liberators. And you roll 5 dice. And you do 2 mortal wounds. Is that good? Okay, you cast the spell against a unit of 20 Mortec Guard. And you kill 10 Mortec Guard. Okay. Anti-Stormcast spell? I don't think it is. Stormcast is too elite. They're too elite to give a shit about roll dice equal to the number of the unit. This is for OBR. Well, this is for a type of OBR that doesn't exist, which is Mortec spam in big units. This is for, yeah, Thunderers, like Kevin said. Like 15 Thunderers. And you're doing, whatever, 10 mortal wounds. This is for the mirror match, probably. Chaos Warriors that chose a unit of 20 Chaos Warriors in Nurgle and stuff, but they got a rune shield. Don't give a fuck. You want high armor, high model count, low wounds, no ward. Like the 4 like transmutation lead. What you want is high armor, high model count, 1 wound, and no ward. That's certainly not Stormcast. That's really not. I don't think that's even Slaves to Darkness. Generally, the biggest units you see in those armies are 10. Which is still, okay, you're gonna kill 1 Chosen. Maybe 2 Chosen. Because they don't have wards, right? They don't have a rune ward. You're not getting like giga value or anything. It's not like a silver bullet where they're just fucked, right? All the high model counts in the game have the shittiest saves in the world. This is like Thunderers, Mortec spam, which I don't think anyone actually does. That's like maybe it. Is that it? Mortec can get a 5 upward. Yeah, Mortec can get a 5 upward. Chaos Warriors can get a 5 upward, or just have it. Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's combat phase only, right? Strangely, Nighthaunt. Nighthaunt's MSU. Yeah, weird. I'm certainly not taking a spell choice on the off chance I play against 2 armies out of 26, though. And even in those armies, you might not be playing against the thing that it's supposed to... Anyway, I think the spell sucks. Twin Comets. Castability 7, range 18. Draw a straight line, must die, between the caster and one model in the unit. Till the end of the turn, each friendly human unit the line passed over has a bravery of 10. Then, the enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. You know what? Don't worry about it. Wild form. Now it's in your spell lore, so that Stormcast can't steal it to be good. Stormcast no longer good, officially. This is a joke. You can attempt to charge, okay, 3d6 charge instead of +2 charge, right? Technically, that's roughly the same. But I like rolling 3 dice, isn't that fun? Damn, you get that from a spell? You don't even have to pay 700 points for it. Not bad. Not bad. Alright. So, because Wild Form exists, this army is good. You probably think I'm kind of joking, but if we're talking competitive, I'm not. The existence of Wild Form means that Cities of Sigmar will be a good army. That's it. All this other shit doesn't matter. None of this matters. You have a delivery method to be able to project power somewhere and have it matter. So the army is good. As simple as that. What do you send in though? LLV? Okay. I haven't gotten to War Scrolls yet. So it's possible that all of your War Scrolls, there isn't one hammer. It's possible there are 0 hammers in the book that are supposed to be melee. That could be the case. I guess I'm making an assumption. There has to be one hammer. I mean, that's what I said when I was reading Idnet Deepkin, the new one. And yet... Yeah. Alright, Alf lore. Oh, by the way. There we go. We had a delayed laugh track. Sap strength. Casting value of 6, range of 18. Tree sap. Pick one enemy unit within range invisible. Subtract 1 from wound rolls. Okay. Okay. It's not bad. Not particularly exciting, but, you know, it's a debuff. Twelve and 6, one enemy unit. Till start of next hero phase, each time a battle shock roll is made for that unit, 2d6 must be rolled instead of 1 dice. If the opponent rolls Battle Shock, stop reading there because they won't. But if you cast the Giga Roar, you know, Pall of Doom, so that they can't roll Battle Shock, and you killed their guys, and they would have to roll it, and they roll 2d6, and they fail. So you've cast 2 spells, and yeah, right. I would rather just kill the unit, I think. Can you still ally Stormcast? You can ally Stormcast. You can do it. However, Wild Form, do note, they specifically made sure that it wouldn't work. City of Sigmar, human. Rules bold. No Fulminator allowed. Is it recommended to add Stormcast? In the past, what you would do is you would take the best 2 Stormcast units and put them in a Cities of Sigmar army. So I don't know, recommended is kind of like neither here nor there, but generally what you do is when you're building a Cities of Sigmar army, you take the best 2 units for a role in Stormcast and put them in cities. And you would do that because cities have, like, rules, you know? And Stormcast kind of didn't. That was, like, in the past. Paul doesn't target. Means it hoses OBR. Let's see. Pick one enemy within range invisible. Yeah, can't issue or receive. Pall of Doom is ridiculous. Imagine Roar always working and having an 18-inch range, and lasting for possibly 2 turns. It's sick. I mean, possibly 3 turns. Kinda. It's ridic. Tenebrial. I like the Tenebrial Shard callback. Back when he used to wield the Sword of Japan. Range 9, oop, might suck. It might already suck. 1 friendly City Sigmar Elf. So start the next hero phase and making save rolls. The target's save characteristic is dash. Oh. Okay. Alright. They brought back the Anvil Guard Acidic Spray. Save dash. Any Umbral spell portals in chat? Oh, actually, you don't even need that. You cast it on your unit instead of theirs. Targets your unit, not theirs. Anvil Guard endures. And remember, the best spells in the game always target your own guys and not the opponent's. Bro, it's probably just dwarf, right? Yeah. This shit good. Rune of Unfaltering, also the reason it targets your guys is they have to make the spell racist, right? Because it's for elves only, so it has to work for elves only, and so it has to target your guys instead of your opponent. That's the reason they have it target your guys. It's because New City Sigmar is so racist, even the spells are racist. Rune of Unfaltering Aim. Aimbot Rune. 3 up 12. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with missile weapons. Okay, so.
Twitch Prime.
Saves you all-out attack, I guess. I want to pause the stream for a moment, okay? You see this? See this acronym I wrote? UT Boy NHP. Until the beginning of your next hero phase. We gotta come up with a shorter way to say this or write this. Just in Age of Sigmar in general. Until the beginning of your next hero phase. We gotta do something about that. You can't even make an acronym out of it because it's too long. Boy, no problem. I don't know. I bet no one actually cares, and it probably doesn't matter, but it's annoying for me to write. It saves you an AoE, and also, I guess, like, you can unleash hell with it, so you maintain the +1 to hit. Even if you're unleash helling on the next turn, that's like a bonus. Right. I'll be Nahuff. Steinwan thinks Big Primer, and Peepo Comfy thinks for the tier 1. For 11 and 16 respectively. CS models are so good. Yeah, they're all basically 10 out of 10. They're so fucking good. They're so good. They made that mistake with Gits originally, so confined for list building. Yeah, it was known as keyword bingo back in those days. I don't know who came up with that term. It was a good one. Oh, U-boy. Yeah, we'll just say U-boy. -1 wound rolls for attacks to target that unit. Am I guessing on the 12 3 up? No, the third one has to be different and a 4 up. Yeah, okay, it's 18 3 up. That was close. Can't wait for Heywoah to get this army and bring your Slaves to Darkness down. Dude, Slaves to Darkness versus City Sigmar is the best looking fight that our game has to offer. Imagine how sick that would look. It would look so cool. Jesus. Pick 1 enemy within range invisible. Roll 6 dice. Oh no, no, please. There's so much left to go. It's so long. Okay. For each roll of 5 up, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. In addition, if the unit suffers 3 or more mortal wounds, that unit is ruined. Alright. That unit is fucking ruined. Until the... what? Start of your next hero phase? So... UTSOYNHP until the start of your next hero phase. Get ruined. What counts as ruining a unit? Plus 10 points, right? If you read Twitter. Went up 10 points, unit ruined. Well, the unit is ruined. Ignore positive modifiers to save rolls for attacks to target that unit. Okay, so like a weird roar. After jumping through a bunch of hoops and it doesn't work on monsters and stuff. GW ruined this unit. I don't want to figure this out. I'm not good at math, but like roll 6 dice, and if half of them or better are 5-ups, then you get almost roar, but just defensively kind of, fuck it. Annoying. How annoying. Yeah, it's a roar with a cartwheel somersault discount. After you already rolled a 3-up for the thing to even work, but fine. Subfactions. If you are lucky and then lucky, you get luckier. Cool. I love bits. Before we do subfactions. So far. Orders are cool. They are trap card secret command abilities that always work in 3 multi-ball format that don't interact with the command ability rules, but they are. And they're great. And they all fuck with shit that your opponent's trying to do. For traits, human has the best one. For artifacts, human ones are actually kind of shitty. For spells, human lore is insane. And, you know, the other ones exist. Tenebrial Shard's Sword of Japan is pretty sick. Combo detected, right? And then the Dwarf Prayer is... Do not spark joy. Yeah. Do not spark joy. Subfactions. Nice. Good break. I turned the air conditioning on in my fucking apartment for exactly 12 minutes. See if I stop fucking dying in here, alright? Thanks for the 5 tier 1 subs, CGO Busta. Appreciate it. During the break, they've gifted a total of $13.94 to the channel. Damn, that's close to 1984. It's close. It's almost there. I always love the bait, right? Ahem. On to subfactions, shall we? Heywoah Aksha. When orders are being given differently, Hammerhall Aksha Heroes, one of those units can be given 2 orders instead of 1, but they must be different orders. Okay? Now let's cross-reference just a little bit here. Also, Persona music back on. Switch hats? Sure, we'll go Cream Team. We'll go Cream Team. How about that? A little bit of tape checking. What's the exact nomenclature on revealing all this other stuff? Start of the battle round, you can give an order. Each order will state when it can be revealed and how it is resolved. Friendly unit cannot be affected by the same order more than once in the same phase. It could be in different phases. At the end of the battle round, the orders are removed. Okay. Okay. So... double ordies on one hero. One of those units. You're given 2 orders instead of 1, and they must be different orders. Still can't affect 2 in one turn, though. Also, if you command a Hammerhall army that includes Aventus Firestrike, the Magister of Hammerhall, yep, Aventus Cheap Strike. At the start of your hero phase, you receive 1 additional command point. Please, could somebody use this piece of garbage? Please, we'll give you a command point. Anything. Will anyone buy this awful man? Please, we'll give you a free command point every turn. I don't know, maybe he's good in this army though. I'll have to revisit him. In Stormcast, he did not look good. Perhaps you use him in this army. Wait, hold on. There were no coalition allegiance abilities, right? And I was expecting when we got to the free cities, it would mention like... yeah, okay, so like Tempest's Eye specifically mentions this, but Stormcast are not. Coalition is gone, thank Christ. What a shit rule system. Okay, yeah, okay. As far as I'm seeing here, maybe Excelsis or something, like, who knows, but... Stormcast, just like doing shit in cities and being coalition and counting for crap. It's just allies, okay. Hold up. Scroll up. First things first. Onisim is dead, okay. Don't care. Anvilgard never forget, but also the story moved forward, so things change. Still have racist rules. Humans only humans, dwarf only dwarf, resident sleeper. More racist than before. Fuck coalition. Games Workshop, when Cities of Sigmar players ask what they do with their Stormcast now the coalition is dead. Then die. Right? Alright. Very interesting. Good. Fuck coalition. Tempest's Eye. What did Coalition do? It was kind of like Ally, but it was stronger than Ally in certain ways that no one remembers. It's a way to cheat on, like, let's pretend you're making a faction in your Games Workshop, but you don't want to, like, make the faction good. You just allow them to use a bunch of other people's crap and call it Coalition, and then that does your job for you. Basically, it allows your army to be soup. Ooh, you only have rapid redeploy, huh? It lets you have more, basically a quarter typically, and then you would fill gaps with a different army. Yeah, yeah. And so, if your coalition was strong, it meant that your army had no weaknesses because you could just look outside and still get your candy and eat it too. And then your weaknesses are just perfectly covered by random stuff from some other army that was designed without thinking about how it would affect some other army if the rules worked in there. And the bad version would be like you're not playing with your guys, you're playing with somebody else's guys. Or it didn't matter. Like one of those. It isn't like, it doesn't have to be a bad system. But Allied KO ships can retreat and shoot. Also, this is the subfaction section, so we'll talk about the secret hidden bonus of subfactions, which is battle line. If there is such a thing. Ooh, I don't think they have that. I'm looking at the end of the book. There's like battle line if steam tank is your general, battle line if scourge privateer is your general. Doesn't seem like Cities of Sigmar. Doesn't seem like Cities of Sigmar is doing the subfaction battle line thing. Okay. Hey, Cities of Sigmar, welcome to Ogres. We have to take some awful general if we want battle line, and then we don't, and so we just don't play with it as well. Welcome to my world. Hello Hearts. Hello Hard did to. So let's see, Hammerhall Acacia. This gets rid of a little bit of the mystery, if we think about it, right? Like, the whole point is it's trap cards, you give it to 3 units, and who knows what they can do. But if you're giving 2 to 1 hero, then you're like, okay, this dude is doing everything. It gets rid of a little bit of the mystique, maybe. But also, probably after you've played against Cities of Sigmar like twice, it's never a surprise which order anything is given, right? So there's that. And then Aventus Firestrike, you won't be using him, probably. I don't know. Maybe he got a new war scroll in this book or something, but I just don't think you'll use him. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering his entire war scroll. So 2 orders instead of 1 for 1 hero. This is a combo, so this is your combo thing. Tempest's Eye, rapid redeploy, allied KO ships can retreat and shoot. Also the guys inside can do so as well. That's good. Retreat and do anything is always good. If the unit can fly, especially, because then they actually can always retreat instead of most of the time can't. Is Tempest's Eye good, though? I don't know. RKO Duarden? What keywords do they have? You probably want to play KO, though, right? I don't know. There's some combo here that I'm not trying to figure out right now. Maybe Hammerhall's good. Tempest's Eye? I don't know. I just don't know. Aluhard is the magic one. This was the best one in first edition, and then it wasn't. And then it was, kinda. And then no one cared for a long time. Wild magic. When you attempt to cast a spell with a friendly Aluhard wizard, you can say that they will harness wild magic if you do. Roll 3 dice instead of 2 for the casting roll. Okay, we are Slaves to Darkness now. Amazing. However, on an unmodified 10 up, the caster... Oh, you are hurt by succeeding instead of punished for failure. Sort of like the thing's gonna die. You're gonna get hurt one way or the other, at least in the primal dice season. It's like, man, if you roll a bunch of 1s, you explode and get hurt, and if you roll 10 up, you explode and get hurt. You're kind of just exploding. You're just exploding and hurting. Wild magic. Punished for success. After the effects of the spell have been resolved. Yeah, alright, that's great. Doesn't matter. I'll take the damage. I don't care. 3d6 casting is OP. As AF. In this season, it's slightly less good, kind of. But dude, you can do this with all of your wizards. It's great. It's great. Alright, Hallowheart, once again, is awesome. The real question is, Heywoah, did you collect your Twitch Prime plus 4 tier skips for Diablo 4 this month? No. You only get one of those. And I didn't want to use that on a season I wasn't really going to play. Because Baldur's Gate was about to come out. And, look, when Baldur's Gate comes out, and then Armored Core 6 is coming out after that. And so the Diablo 4 season was going to have to be unbelievably good for me not to play Baldur's Gate and Armored Core 6 a lot. So, I mean, look, that's the thing about seasons for ARPGs. You can just fuck off for a while, and then, oh, hey, Season 4 is coming out. Hey, that looks cool, and just play it, and you don't miss anything. No big deal. Diablo 4 season was never going to be that good. Literally true, but not cosmically possible, right? It was possible that they made a good season. Just sheer numbers wise, like statistically, it wasn't impossible, but they weren't. Are you breaking up with Diablo 4? No, it's just better games came out. That's all. I like ARPGs a lot, and so like the water level of games I play is like ARPGs, Diablo 2 Resurrected, you know, EverQuest maybe, if I'm feeling particularly old and nostalgic. And so, you know, I'll just play that whenever. But then coming out of that water level, there's like giant volcanoes and right. And those volcanoes are like good games. You can also do the 3d6 and then add a primal die. Yes, you can. Problem with Tempest is because its allied KO and Coalition is dead. Because KO points, you can't just take a Frigate and Thunderers. You'd be over points. Yeah. So I think Tempest is just dead. Somebody talked about Slaves to Darkness a while ago, and I didn't get to it, and I apologize. But they were saying that Slaves to Darkness is 3d6 drop the lowest. Man, unless I'm really remembering wrong, Slaves to Darkness heroic action is just straight 36. It's just as good. In fact, the Slaves one is better and worse. It's just different. They're both 3d6 to cast. This one punishes you for success. The other one costs a heroic action. It's not purely free. They're both just good, yeah. I thought the Slaves to Darkness one was 3d6 drop the lowest, because before it was printed, for the most part, whenever anything was 3d6, it was always drop the lowest, but they weren't. If I recall correctly, anyway. I could be wrong. It's great It's trash. It's boring. But boring isn't bad. When you pick a Hammerhall Gyra army, if the battle pack you're using has restrictions on the number of reinforced units you can include one additional City Sigmar reinforced unit. In addition, friendly Gyra human units have a bravery of 10 when they have 10 or more models. Alright, Hammerhall Gyra is racist confirmed. Only humans. Nobody else lives in Hammerhall? Fuck 'em. Even the Subfactions are racist? One additional reinforced. I wonder if that matters. I play an army where you never reinforce anything. And so I don't even have like a frame of reference here to say whether that matters. Are people running out of reinforced restrictions in this game? When you guys are building your army, do you ever even notice? Like, I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what the reinforcement limit is at 2K. It just never matters. It doesn't come up. I build Slaves to Darkness armies for fun sometimes. I wonder if they're even legal. I don't even know if I reinforce like 2 things, maybe? Still, it doesn't matter if other armies do it. It matters if this army wants to, right? Yeah, I guess if Cities of Sigmar has trouble reinforcing, then this is neat. I haven't looked at the rest of the units, so I really don't know. It matters to like Gits and Fireslayers and such? Yeah, Kelderaith. Yeah, I think so. Well, does it matter to Fireslayers though? In the list they actually build. Well, alright, maybe they don't build that list because they're reinforced, but I doubt it. I don't know. Either way, it only really matters if it matters to this army. And I don't know if it does without looking at the units. Living City used to be good. Is it still? During deployment, instead of setting up... Oh, you still have an ambush, huh? Okay, they kept it. You actually kept it. Also, we found one that is not racist. Hammerhall is human only. Living City units, not racist. It's good. How good is it? Well, what you can't do is ambush into 3d6 charge because it's a spell, and you set them up at the end of the movement, right? And you can't get a plus to charge on that particular turn. But you can reroll charge because the general... Was there a general that did 3d6 charge or just reroll? I know there's a reroll general, but that doesn't matter. Because a rerolled 9 is still likely to fail anyway. What was it? Was it a trait? Yeah, it was a trait. It's just reroll. And you can reroll a charge as part of a command ability anyway, which is what you could use, right? So far... Fizz 6, I'll switch. Good. This hat's a little tight. On one button, it's too loose. On 2 buttons, it's too tight. Cream team, too tight. You heard it here first. Anyway. This hat swapping son of a bitch. Take some Luminarcs and shoot down the... Yeah, I mean, you just shoot, right? But that's a given. Because shooting is better than melee in a vacuum. Shoot water shootness. Can it be good? A gray water welcome. Give them a welcome, boys. Yeah, cool. You can use all-out attack up to 3 times in your shooting phase. In addition, the first 2 times friendly gray water fastness unit receives all-out attack in your shooting phase, a command point is not spent. The first 2 times? Not the last 2, but the first 2. So, what this reads is, you can use all-out attack 2 times every turn for free. 10 free all-out attacks. Why wouldn't they make you pay for the first one? I mean, okay. Time to show them why we don't have healthcare, boys. Fucking got him. Okay. They slowed down Maggotkin for this? Hey, remember the best trait in the entire book? When you AoE a unit, they get +1 to hit and wound. Remember when I said this is the one that everyone will take and it's really good? It just got 300% better and free. Okay. From last place to first place. there is this, but I don't think that changes how overpowered everything is, really. It kind of does. Alright, Lethis. Lethal. Friendly Lethis human heroes once... Alright. In the prime inner lands of Shyish, solemn peoples of Lethis. Still practice the worship of forgotten gods, most notably Morduh, master of the Bleak Raven. His grim worshippers are said to possess the power to steal the soul upon death, preventing it from slipping into Nagash's clutches. Okay. This is the edge. Oh, we're Kabbalists except for priests. Human-only heroes are Kabbalists except priests. Got it. Oh, that are not wizards. In addition, friendly human priests and friendly allied Stormcast priests know the following prayer. Morduh. Embrace. Answer of 4 into 12. Pick one enemy within range invisible. Ward saves cannot be made for that enemy unit until the start of your next hero phase. No Warderinos, Saverinos, target enemy. It's alright. It's like a silver bullet. It's the kind of ability that a player is gonna like fucking nut and be like, this is so overpowered, but actually it doesn't come up as much as they think due to negativity bias, but it is gonna be decent. It's just a good spell to have access to. Chances are something has a ward in your opponent's armies, right? Not true in a vacuum, but it's kind of true here. I don't remember your prayer lore. Like, your only lore is dwarf, right? So... okay, all your humans become priests, but why does that matter? You're only using the 3 basic prayers. Curse is good, but after that, what? Am I missing something huge here? Like, why is this good? Like, Kabbalist is so good because you can actually choose a bunch of spells and they're good. And you have a bunch of unbinds now and shit like that. And so I got excited about this, but specifically, you don't have a prayer book in your army. Because this is human only. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, this seemed fun, and then I thought about it for a second. I'm like, you don't have any prayers to choose. You have Curse, and, the Silver Bullet thing? I don't know. You get seasonal spells every season. You don't get seasonal prayers. Like, somebody wrote this, and they figured that somebody else was going to write a prayer lore for the book, and then the other person didn't. I don't know. Like, what's happening here? Vindicarium. I don't like this because it sounds like a 40k name. But fine, okay. It's good if you play only Night Hunt. I mean, I guess. Night Hunt's MSU though, right? So you're gonna kill like 5 guys with that one spell? I don't know. It's sure good against, like, I don't know, Beastclaw Raiders or something. Stonehorns are terrible without a board save. Because most of them are Beast Riders. It's some fucking 4-up armored derp lord who can't issue himself all-out defense. And loses his ward. I guess that's cool. That'd sure kill them. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you're Lethus, and so like you have one priest and he has curse and that's it. You use it for like one hero. Oh. Anyway, I'll get back to that later. Vindicarum. Unyielding Faith. Friendly Vindicarum units can receive the rally command while they are within 3 of enemy units.
Stop it. Get some help.
Please. Fucking stop. Please. Hate rally. Rally in combat. Fuck you. And it works on a 5-up. Wow, thanks. I hate it. Fuck you. Wait, is it flagellants only? All your units can receive rally. Specifically, flagellants get the 5-up instead of 6. We should note that. Anyway, Excelsis. Fearsome Breads. Add one of the wound characters friendly Excelsis monsters. Ooh, this is the Monster Mash. Okay, so Monster Mash. In addition, each time friendly Excelsis free guild Cavalier fights. After all of its attacks have been resolved, pick an enemy unit within 3. And roll die for each model in the free guild Cavalier unit. For each 4-up, 1 more to 1. Okay, you got the Evocator thing. Eels are in shambles. Settlers Gains is home to both Lumineth and humans. The elves live in utopian enclaves that tower over the districts where the humans toil. Both races fight side by side in times of war. Do they? Add 1 to casting rolls for friendly wizards. In addition, at the start of each hero phase, you receive 1 additional command point. If the model you pick to be your general is within 3 of a Lumineth hero who is allied. Can that happen before the crackback asks Mageson? Yes. Each time they fight, after all its attacks have been resolved, but before the next activation. So it, you know, they're done with all of their attacks, but they're still blowing stuff up. The way you counteract this, sometimes, if you have a savvy opponent who doesn't necessarily care about the damage their unit is dealing, they could remove casualties from the front and now no longer be within 3 for the mortal wounds. Like, they could do that if they didn't want to fight with those guys or something. It's expressly stated that the humans basically live in the slums. Yes, yeah. The elves live in the cool places and the humans live in the poor places. That is true. +1 to cast with your wizards is pretty good. So far, that's +2 if you do the one trait, right? It's not human wizards. Not a racist ability. Misthaven. The City of Scoundrels. Den of Pirates and Cutthroats. Scourge Privateers, Darkened Covens, Order Serpentis. Essentially what Andalgard used to be. Ahem. At the end of your hero phase, alright, at the end of your hero phase, 8 Oihp. Pick up to 3 different friendly Misthaven units that are more than 12 from all enemy units. Each of those units can move d6. Oh. Hey, look, it's Destruction Move from 1st edition. We got back to it. They move d6 each. If the unit has mounts, it can move 2d6. Holy shit. And it can finish this move within 3 of enemy units. Hey, finishing moves inside of combat so that you don't technically charge is really good. That being said, you have to be more than 12. So that's a literal 12 on a mounted guy. Right, because you have to start far away. Also, like Boxcars is doing a lot of heavy lifting, so let's just say 10 up. which will never happen, right? So you might as well let it work. All right, path to Ignori. We click through it and past it, like everyone in the entire world. And we get to the game, match play. Stevotron RD, thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it for 8 months. Thanks, man. Path to Snorri, yeah. So let's look at these subfactions. What are the subfactions that stand out to me? 3d6 casting. Living City shooting. Shoot water shootness for is just the best one. Nothing's even close. The rally one probably just exists to make me upset, but I don't think anyone will actually play it. Hopefully. It's weird that you have Settler's Gains, right? Where it's +1 to cast with your wizards. Or you could just be fucking 3d6 with your wizards, but alright, a little overlap here. You know, was looking for maybe a little more uniqueness, but that's fine. So everyone's shoot water shootness then, with that one command trait, and that's the whole book. Some people Living City maybe. That's it, right? That's all there is to it. Hopefully no one plays this, because I hate it. Alright. I think I'm disappointed by these subfactions. Honestly, the subfactions I think are disappointing to me again. Yeah. Just a lot of wheel spinning on these. I'm like, okay. Some overlap. Some ones that are just like quizzically nothing, or like a half thought of idea that you don't even have a prayer lore in your book. Why do you want priests? Anyway, that's first impression on what exactly they do. But everything changes when you look at War Scrolls, don't forget. And so we'll be constantly going back and updating things as more is revealed. Battle Tactics. Grand Strats. When battle ends, you complete at least 4 battle tactics, and every tactic you completed this battle was from the For Honor and Glory list below. Fuck you. Reclaim for Sigmar. There's at least one friendly Sigmar unit wholly within each large quarter of the battlefield. Alright. Hold the high ground. Any friendly units within 12 of the center, and no enemy units within 12 of the center. Hey. That's already somebody else's. Also, this is already somebody else's. Also, this is already somebody else's, so I guess fine. I guess it's fine. Hold up. How often can you do this? Oh, every turn. Hold up. I was thinking that was Destruction Mover. It's only beginning of the game. My bad. Missed even better than I thought. Had to check the tapes. It's that long string of letters that I couldn't remember what it stood for. Each player totals a number of standard bearers and units with the totem keyword in their army and that are on it. If your totals, so if you have more units than your opponent, right? Kind of, if you have more units than them, you win. Banners held high might be good. Maybe banner one. Pick one enemy unit to complete this tactic if it was destroyed and was suppressed as a result of suppress. This might not work. Does this work? Pick one friendly city Sigmar within 3. After the unit shoots, if all of its attacks target the same enemy, roll 2d6 and add the number of models slain. If the result exceeds the bravery characteristic of the unit, it is suppressed. If you kill them all, there's no unit to target. Right? Because you have to care about the models slain. And so if you slay all the models, then the thing isn't suppressed. Because there's nothing to suppress. You have to be affected by suppress. But if you're dead, you can't be affected by suppress because you don't exist. I know what they mean, but does this work? And then pick one enemy unit, you complete this battle attack if that unit is destroyed and was suppressed. So what you can't do is kill them with the shooting. You have to suppress them with the shooting but not kill them, and then you have to charge them with a melee unit and finish them off. Because if you kill them with the shooting, then they're not suppressed. So this is the ogre battle tactic, where you have to be in combat at the start of the combat phase, but if you kill them with impact hits, then you fail your battle tactic from rolling too well. Right? So you do have to watch out. If you kill a unit by shooting it too hard in the first time you shoot it, then you fail from succeeding too hard. You can shoot them with another unit, right, but if you shoot them with another unit and you only kill like one guy, then they're probably not going to be suppressed, which is another requirement. And so you have to find and lock into the Goldie locks zone of hurting them enough to suppress, but not enough to kill, and then kill them later. You're in the... There's lasers in the bank vault, and you're trying to flip between them. So you shoot them hard enough so that they fail suppressing, but not too hard, because if you kill them, you fail it. So you have to thread the needle and get lucky, and it's kind of annoying. My army book also has one of these where you have to be in combat with all your guys, but if you kill something from impact hits, then you fail it. So, what does that mean? It means I usually don't choose that battle tactic. Because you want to roll high, you know? And if you roll too high, you lose by winning. Mission failed successfully. And sometimes there's no other choice, and so you're like hoping to roll really bad on something that's normally good to roll high. I hate these kind of battle tactics. Hate them. Include this tactic if you control the objective you then turn in a friendly free guild command core that includes a great herald contests it. Okay. Waddle a whole ass command squad onto a point your opponent controls and you control at end of turn. Three or more enemy units are destroyed in your shooting phase this turn. We'll see how possible this one is. If this one is likely, then the army's probably way too good. I don't know. Totally end the game for your opponent, worth 2 victory points. You don't mean this in a rude way, but the only good battle tactics are the ones that are stupidly easy to complete? Yes. And I don't mean this in a rude way, but that's correct. There are 2 different types of people. There are players and there are designers, right? Players want battle tactics to be 100% success rate, trivially easy. No randomness, no chance, not hard, not, ooh, sometimes I might do this, but usually I wouldn't be. They want 5 battle tactics to be able to be completed automatically for free, easy every time. Not necessarily their opponent, but for them. And for a player, those are the best battle tactics that they like the most and they have the most fun using. But for a designer, or the rules writer of the game, you would look at that situation and then you would ask the inevitable rhetorical question, if everybody 100% succeeds at all 5 battle tactics unless they are tabled, what is the point of battle tactics? Right? And that's a reasonable counter question. And here you get the friction. And so the players are just searching for ones that are automatic because that's what they want. And designers are like, well, we have to make them have fail states or be silver bullets or whatever. Because if you pass all of them, then what's the point of even having the mechanic, right? You're like limboing under a door frame. It's a, gold star trophy. Everybody gets a trophy day, right? And so when I'm looking at books for the first time, I tend to be in a player's mindset, but I could be in a designer mindset, in which case I would talk about this stuff in a different way, But I'm generally, I got my player hat on for this. It's the same thing with Battle Shock, for instance, as an aside. As a player, the Battle Shock system in the game is perfect because you ignore it. It never matters. That's the ideal state. The ideal state is Battle Shock is in the game, but nobody cares about it, and it doesn't matter, and you can ignore it very easily. And then there's a bunch of rules that have to do with it, but no one cares. Like, that's great. But if I were writing the rules for a game, and I see an entire system I put into the game, there's bravery characteristic on every war scroll. I'm like, damn, everybody's ignoring this. It never matters. Nobody does this. If I'm going to put, if you look on a war scroll and there's a wheel and there's 4 numbers in the wheel and one of the numbers is irrelevant, that's a problem, right? I should put stuff into the game so the bravery matters, or change the rules of bravery next edition so that it matters, or something like that. As a player, I would hate that. If bravery actually mattered, I would hate it, right? But maybe for the good of the game or whatever, it should change. It just kind of depends. It depends on what kind of hat you're wearing. We're players, so we should be thinking of this in the player mindset. I think I disagree. most players think in a player mindset, and so most of the feedback comes from a very player point of view. But I think it's reasonable to sometimes think about the good of the game. If you're giving feedback, if you're capable of doing that, for giving feedback. Because remember, like, players will demand quality of life and convenience taken to the biggest extreme forever until the game is push button, get free thing immediately, right? Until there almost isn't even a game, right? And it's the developer's job to do a bunch of compromises, you know? If you take every player suggestion, it's sort of like using cheat codes in a video game, right? I always win, it's never hard, there's no chance, everything is easy, nothing takes any amount of time, right? And you can't just give players what they want forever, otherwise it kind of ruins the game. Why should you have to ignore it? Either make it matter or get rid of the rule. It could be one of those rules that you're supposed to try to ignore. They do, you know, in some games they put stuff like that in there, and that's kind of the point. Like in Diablo 4, there's a resource system for every class. You know, rage or mana or spirit or whatever. And it starts at, in a vacuum, it starts at 0. And it's a limiter. You have a cool attack and a shit attack. And the shit attack generates resource, and the cool attack that you like spends it. And so all the players want infinite resource, because that's fun. And so maybe the point of the game is you play it for 50 hours and you get level 100 and you have the best gear, and now you've earned the ability to ignore resources. And that's getting to that point is fun, and here's your reward. You get to play with IDKFA. You get to play with infinite mana. And sometimes that works for games. Battle Shock should only apply to my opponents. I would rather it not apply to anybody. Battle Shock's a waste of time. When I'm playing and my opponent has to roll like 3 different Battle Shocks that he almost automatically passes unless he rolls a 1, I'm kind of looking at my watch. I'm like, hey, we got 2 hours to play this. I'll give him those rolls. Let's just move on to the next turn. I don't know. Unless it matters. Listening to player feedback is largely a bad idea unless there's a common complaint. It's important to know what the players are complaining about. Like, feedback is important. It's just really hard to parse that feedback and figure out, first of all, if there's a problem, and second of all, what it is. Because usually players are complaining about something, but there's a real problem, but it's generally like adjacent to what they're talking about. Or maybe it's a systemic problem, or maybe it's not, you know. It's very hard to determine like the real cause, the true cause of complaints, and what to do about it. It's really difficult to do that. And it's not really the player's fault. They're not a designer. They're just playing the game, and they're like, I don't like this. Okay. What do we do about it? Should we do something about it? I don't know. Sometimes yes. But if a person's playing Mario and they're like, I hate it when I have to jump, then maybe they're just playing the wrong game, right? Anyway, pick one objective controlled by your opponent. Blue's tactic, if you control the objective at the end of the turn, and every friendly unit that contests it has a mount. And made a charge move this turn, okay. If you're in a cavalry army, there it is. If you're actually playing with elves, if you're actually playing with dwarves, yeah, okay. great. There's a difference between complaints and outcry. Just listen to outcry. I don't know. Sometimes the outcry is over the stupidest thing that isn't a problem at all. And then people are just bitching because they're whiners. Right? I don't know. Damn, it just... That's the hard part. It really just depends. It really just depends. Core battalions. Are we one drop? We are. It's a real battalion. If you have specifically bought this one singular guy, if you have that guy, and then some Fusiliers, and then a great cannon, and then maybe another ogre. Okay, so if you're playing a bunch of shoots, looks like you have a one drop. Not really, because there's no heroes in here, right? But wait, Fusil Major. Fusil Major might be a hero. I might be wrong here. One drop ogre plus shoot guys plus one cannon army. Nice. Ooh, steel helms also, actually. Okay. One drop ogre plus 3 shoot guys or hat men plus 1 cannon. Yeah, steel helms, not great helms. That's fine. I guess to me, why have Battle Shock if you're just gonna hand wave their rolls, basically, because you as the player don't really care? Yeah, you know, it's reasonable. It's kind of like the battle tactic thing. If everyone ignores it, why even have it in the game? And so you've seen a lot more roars coming out, haven't you, in the rules? Every new book that comes out, it's another, like, you can't use command abilities for something. Like, here's a spell that does it, here's an endless spell that does it, here's this thing, here's that thing. They're trying to put stuff in the game that stops people from autoing bravery. And so it used to be, and probably it still is, something that everyone just ignores, but they figured, hey, well, what if we put some stuff in the game that, like, makes you have to care about it? Is that good enough? I feel like it's kind of like they're testing it.